This is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use a doming block or dapping set to create personalized bead caps. Now, in order to do that, I've brought out a few different styles here, but this really does work for a lot of different styles of bead caps. I did also bring out 4 different sizes of Swarovski pearls just so I could really kind of demonstrate. So we have a 6, an 8, a 10, and a 12. So I'll kind of be showing you really what we're going to be doing in order to make the bead caps here, and you can see that I've done a few over here to kind of fit that mold. So I'm going to start actually with this kind of little guy here. Now this is kind of cool. So you can see that when I flip it over, all those little petals are separated. So we have this really nice open piece of filigree. But if you look on its side, and I'm going to try to hold this up for you, it's very sort of cone-like. It just kind of drops down and it's very like straight. It wouldn't actually kind of curve with a bead. So that's why we're going to use the doming block today. Oops, there we go. So I have the 6mm pearl here, so you can see that when I put it on there, it just kind of sits on like a little hat, you know, but that's not really the look I want to go for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to place it into my doming block. So you can see here, this is sort of what a doming block is. It's these little pins here, and it's just going to create little domes with the different sizes, and of course they coordinate to each size that you're going to use. So let's actually go ahead and put that into the 5mm dome there. So what you're starting to see is you see that little filigree kind of poking up there. So you're going to take your little pin, turn it over, and place it into the center there. So what we're going to do is this is going to essentially round out that bottom. So you can just take a hammer, and you don't need a very heavy hammer because we're not whacking it. This isn't stamping, so it's just a few little taps here. And you can just kind of move your little dap around. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull that out. And you can see just ever so slightly that it rounded that top. So let me try to show you both of them next to each other. So you can kind of just see that it just rounded out the little top there, and as opposed to a little flat side. So that's one way. So I'm going to take it another step, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place it into the other block that we have here, and this is going to be the 8mm. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to use this pin, and now you'll kind of see it disappear under there, but you can also just sort of watch the pin, and I'm just going to dap it very gently. You can kind of see it go in there, right? Just move it around a little bit. And now when I take that out, it's much more flattened and rounded. So that was an 8mm, so I can come over here to my 8mm now, and that's a nice little fit there. So now it's too big for my 6, but you kind of get the idea. So that's just one little example. Now let's take another example here. So we have these little guys, and these are pretty flat, as you can see. So what we want to do is we want to kind of just crunch it all together there. So let's take a look at our 10mm. See how that just wouldn't work very well right there? So that's not going to work. Let's try our 12. All right, so again, you're really kind of seeing, and I know this might be difficult, so I'll put it against the white there, that it kind of flares out. It really doesn't act as a bead cap. It doesn't really grab it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and I'm going to place it into my 11mm little dome there. I'm going to take my pin, and one more time, we're just going to kind of come over here and just give it a couple little daps, just to really kind of just dap it around and just to curve it a little bit. That's what we're going for. We just want to kind of curve it in. So now you can see that it's a little bit more curved, and it sits a little bit nicer there, but I actually think I want a little bit more. So I'm going to try it in the 8 here. Now I don't want to dap it too much, so you can get a nice little sort of, oops, let's try this one. All right, so let's see how that fits now. All right, and we're getting closer there. Let me try to do a little bit more. You can see that it's still kind of sitting up there, which is okay. Oops, we're slipping around a little bit, don't worry about it. The doming blocks are very forgiving. just try one more time here. Oops. I'm just sort of getting it as center as I can inside there. There we go. All right, so now we've domed it to about an 11 there, 11 or an 8. So yes, you can see that it's starting to take a little bit of shape. I might continue to work with it a little bit more. I did this one earlier that fits a little bit closer, so it's definitely much improved from what it was before. So again, you can just kind of play with it. Okay, so we've talked about kind of bringing it in to really keep it nice and tight. So one other thing I want to show you is on this silver guy here. So you can actually already see that the bead cap comes like this. It comes so that it's too grabby because it'll just kind of sit on top, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So it fits, but it doesn't really fit because this isn't an 11, excuse me, this bead cap is 11 millimeters and this pearl is 12. So what I did was I actually opened it up to make it fit on like so. So it's a much tighter fit now. And all you need to do for that is just go into one of the larger ones here, and let's see, I'm going to go into the 14, and I'm just going to open this up just a little bit. And the nice thing is you can kind of play with these, see how they fit. Maybe you might need a little bit more. Yeah, see, there we go. So now it looks so much better on there, and you can see how if you're using 2, it just really adds something to that bead. So basically, the real reason that I wanted to bring this out is because we all know that it's really difficult to fit bead caps. So what you can do is you can kind of make it your own by using a doming block, even if it's just a very small adjustment. So I have a couple other little examples here. So this one I really flattened. So this is actually the same one as we started with there. So you can see how different that bead cap really is. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't fit. If you have one of these, it's a great way to do that. I also tested out sort of doing a little reverse doming where I wanted to kind of flare out the actual little bead cap so that if you wanted to like sit one on top of the other and like kind of stack your bead caps, you could do that as well. So, you can really play a lot with these filigree ones. You can actually use pliers to open them up, but a really nice way to get a consistent dome to fit on a round bead is to use one of these doming blocks. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it very helpful for fitting your bead caps. You can find all of these supplies and even more tutorial videos and tips by heading over to Beadaholique.com.